The 36th Virginia Tech National Capital Region Graduate Commencement has begun. Please stand for the posting of the colors by the University Color Guard and the singing of our national anthem by Mr. Hero Williams. Mr. Williams is a Virginia Tech graduate, class of 2010, with a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and Theater Arts. He is currently working in continuing and professional education at our offices in Arlington. When he's not here, he can sometimes be heard singing the national anthem at the Nationals Park.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Good afternoon. On behalf of the university community, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2016 National Capital Region Graduate Commencement Exercises. Today, more than 180 students of Virginia Tech's National Capital Region will be recognized for completing degree requirements for doctoral, specialist, master's, and certificate programs from 5 of the university's colleges. In total, more than 400 students in the National Capital Region have earned graduate degrees and certificates this academic year. Their research and scholarship, completed as part of the degree requirements, constitutes a significant achievement for our students, as well as a major contribution to the global body of knowledge. Now it is with great honor that we introduce Virginia Tech's 16th president, Dr. Timothy Sands, who will introduce our commencement stage party.
Good afternoon. Representing Virginia Tech's Board of Visitors, we are pleased to have Mr. Horacio Valeris with us today. We are also pleased to welcome Mr. Mohammed Sayam, our graduate student representative. Identify yourselves. There you go. Very good. It is my pleasure to introduce the deans of our colleges. These individuals have the immense responsibility for the academic and administrative direction of each college. As I call your name, will you please stand? Dr. Rosemary Bleasner, Associate Dean of the Graduate School. Dr. Mohammed Haj, Associate Dean of the Graduate School. Dr. Kenneth H. Wong, Associate Dean of the Graduate School. Dr. A.J. Jack Davis, Dean, College of Architecture and Urban Studies. Dr. Robert Summacrast, Dean, Pamplin College of Business. Mr. Praviz Ganfurosh, Associate Dean, Pamplin College of Business. Mr. Richard Benson, Dr. Richard Benson, Dean, College of Engineering. Dr. Elizabeth Spiller, Dean, College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences. Dr. Paul Winnestorfer, Dean, College of Natural Resources and the Environment. I'd also like to recognize the university's senior administrators who have joined us on the stage today. Dr. Thanasis Rakakis, Executive Vice President and Provost. Dr. Karen DePaw, Vice President and Dean for Graduate Education, and Dr. Stephen McKnight, Vice President for the National Capital Region. Also on stage are Dr. Kathleen Hancock, Commencement Marshal, Mr. Jim Moran, our Commencement Speaker, Dr. Philip R. Egert, our 2016 Graduate Student Speaker, Ms. Lisa Carter Ellison, our Virginia Tech Alumni Association Representative, and Dr. Adil Godrej, our Reader of Names. Thank you. I wish to extend my greetings to all members of the stage party and the faculty. You are the vital link that connects our academic past, a tradition that stretches back to medieval times, to the ever-expanding, vibrant universe of knowledge that our graduates represent. To all of you, please stand and accept our gratitude for your dedication to teaching, to scholarship, and to the idea of the academic community. That would be our faculty. Wonderful. Thank you. Please be seated. Through this ceremony, we recognize your significant achievement and celebrate your talents, skills, and hard work. It is challenging to earn an advanced degree, and according to the Census Bureau, just 8% of the U.S. population perseveres to the completion of a master's degree, and only 3% complete the doctoral degree. Many of today's graduates are working professionals from the region's dynamic corporate community, government agencies, and education and policy sectors. They've held demanding jobs during the day and attended school in the evenings, while also juggling family obligations and civic activities. It's a pleasure to recognize our graduating students. May I ask them to stand so we can applaud for you? Of course, they're not the only ones who have made sacrifices, and so I'd like to extend a special welcome and special congratulations to the families of our graduates. Pursuing an advanced degree, and on some days, pursuing is the only way to describe it, means a commitment on behalf of the entire family. All of you have adjusted your schedules, seen less of your loved ones, taken on additional responsibilities, and have done your best to get through these very crowded years. It was your support that helped these graduates to summon the necessary commitment, perseverance, and dedication to get to this place. We honor them and we honor you. As part of the graduate commencement, we invite an outstanding graduate student to provide a brief message on behalf of the graduating student body. It is now my pleasure to present Dr. Barbara Allen, who will introduce the graduate student speaker.
Thank you, President Sands, and good afternoon, everybody, and congratulations to all of you for sharing this special day. I am delighted to present our 2016 graduate student speaker and member of this graduating class. Earlier this year, we announced that we were looking for someone who exemplified the dynamic combination of both working professional and engaged graduate student that we find in the National Capital Region. There were many qualified applicants, but out of the many outstanding submissions, Philip Eggert was one that stood out. When Philip began the PhD program in Science and Technology Studies 5 years ago, he was working full-time as the Vice President and Director of Business Development for Northrop Grumman, as well as serving as elected District Commissioner in Hampton, Virginia. While balancing civic commitments and a tough work schedule, he progressed through our program at a steady pace, focusing his scholarship on ideas to improve the living conditions for vulnerable populations after disasters or in the face of global pandemics. Additionally, in service to our program, he was the National Capital Region student representative to our graduate student organization for the past 4 years. Philip is also a proud Hokie parent. Last year, his daughter graduated from Virginia Tech, earning her master's degree in materials engineering. Please join with me in welcoming Philip R. Eggert, soon to be hooded as Dr. Philip R. Eggert, with a PhD in Science, Technology, and Society.
Thank you, Dr. Allen, for that generous introduction. President Sands, Dean DePaul, Dr. Wong, distinguished guests, my fellow graduate students, and all of our friends and families. It's with a tremendous sense of gratitude and honor that I stand here today as your graduate student representative. Albert Einstein, who was always good for a quote, once said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited to all we know and understand, while imagination embraces the entire world and all there ever will be to know and understand." Well, I am standing here today living out of my imagination, doing something I once thought to be impossible. My journey of imagination began 5 years ago when I walked back into a classroom for the first time in 35 years at Virginia Tech's Northern Virginia Center. When I got my bachelor's degree from that other university that has Virginia in its name, I was the first person in my family to graduate from college. And like many undergraduates, I had to immediately start working to pay off my student loans, pay the bills, support a family, and generally start making a living as an adult. I had not planned to take 35 years to get back into the classroom. But like so many of our working graduate students here today, life just got in the way. And going back to school became a dream that never died, but certainly became a dream deferred, to quote one of our great poets, Langston Hughes. But 35 years later, I did manage to get all of my stars aligned, and I was able to walk back into a classroom. After a career in business where I routinely briefed high-level corporate executives, senior military leaders, and on a few occasions testified before Congress, I can tell you I was never more nervous than walking back into that first classroom 5 years ago. Most of my classmates and the instructor were about half my age. And I just assumed my classmates were going to be so much smarter than me, say smarter things, and not be intimidated by the prospect of reading 200-plus pages a week and writing 30-page essays. But much to my astonishment, I quickly learned that my classmates were just as nervous as I was and were just as intimidated at the prospect of launching into one of the most highly ranked and largest PhD programs of its kind. And over time, thanks to some of the best teachers a fledgling graduate student could possibly have the privilege of learning from, and the support of some of the best classmates a non-traditional student like myself could ever possibly meet. Over time, those classes became easier. They became more engaging. They became more stimulating. They became the laboratories for honing excellence in the critical thinking and discourse skills that I now cherish. I was incredibly fortunate early in my academic journey at Virginia Tech. I had an instructor who is here today who understood how to gently but persuasively steer a non-traditional student like myself towards that idea of Einstein's imagination. I came to my PhD program, like many of our graduate students who make their living in the policy-driven world here in DC, as a firm believer in the sanctity of technological solutions to address any problem. But over time, I began to see that there was a larger world beyond the knowledge I thought I had. I began to see a world full of imagination with endless possibilities, but also a world with endless challenges that required more than simple thoughts about technical and political solutions. And once I began to peer into that imagination, my academic journey literally began to unfold towards being here today. One of the icons in my discipline of science and technology studies is a French philosopher and scholar named Bruno Latour. He urged his students to not be drawn into unending debates of facts, but rather focus on matters of concern. We live in a post-9/11 world where acts of terrorism continuously dominate the headlines. Scary outbreaks of infectious diseases like Ebola and the Zika virus seemingly appear to come from nowhere. We have seemingly unstoppable migratory waves of refugees that are throwing our government institutions into turmoil. The geopolitical boundaries, norms, and rules we thought we knew seem to be in various stages of instability wherever we look. And according to the United Nations, nearly half of the world's population still survive on less than $2 a day. Nearly 1 billion people are illiterate, and nearly 1 billion people do not have safe drinking water. Inexpensively preventable diseases kill over 17 million people a year, and today there are more than 60 million displaced people in the world, more than any time since World War II. These are numbers that are really hard to get our heads around, but they are also the matters of concern that we must address with our imagination, bolstered by the rigorous training and critical thinking skills that we have received during our Virginia Tech academic journey. We do not have to accept these mind-numbing numbers as matters of fact. Instead, we should see these numbers as matters of concern, deserving our deepest and best thinking born from our collective imagination. I graduated with my bachelor's degree almost 40 years ago to today. And I stand here as living proof that an academic dream deferred does not have to be a dream denied. Every graduate here today is living out their dream and has a personal story just like mine, full of fear, hope, joy, loneliness, and sacrifice. And none of us graduating here today did it alone. We all had the unwavering support of friends and family. In closing, I challenge all of us getting our degrees today to leave here and take on the matters of concern wherever you find them. Make Virginia Tech proud, make your friends and family proud, and mostly live out of your imagination to make the world a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Riggert. Jim Moran served Virginia's 8th Congressional District from 1991 to 2015. While in Congress, he was a senior member of the House Appropriations Committee, chairman and ranking member of the Subcommittee on the Interior and the Environment, and a senior member on the Defense Military Construction Subcommittees. He also served on the Foreign Affairs Committee and the Banking and Housing Committee. And it's possible that he garnered so many committee appointments because he was well known for his ability to resolve complex issues. Currently, he is a senior legislative advisor with McDermott, Will, and Emery. This year, he was appointed as professor of practice in the School of Public and International Affairs in the College of Architecture and Urban Studies at Virginia Tech, and will work with programs related to public policy, international affairs, planning, and public administration. Our students will greatly benefit from his experience and his insight. Please welcome Mr. Jim Moran.
Well, thank you very much. Boy, that was a terrific speech, Dr. Egger. Just excellent. Well, Mr. President and faculty, family, friends, and especially graduates, it is an honor to share this moment of transition with you. Today, you hand the world your ticket, and the world ushers you in to sit on the front row of the world stage. Imagine, only 8% of the American public has masters, 3% doctorates. I mean, you're in the elite. And that's why my purpose today, to stretch the analogy a little further, is to encourage you to get out of your seats and run onto the stage. Because this is a transitional time in the history of this planet. And if you and enough others of your intellect and character choose to watch rather than to determine our planet's fate, then those who offer the purest appeal of fundamentalist doctrine to control culture and beliefs, or the simplistic approach of military violence to resolve differences among nations and religious sects, or the manipulation of the truth to achieve partisan political goals, well, then they will in fact win. But they're not winners. They weren't meant to be winners. The history of the human race exposes them to be losers. But history also reveals that the most tragic times in human history were brought about not as much by the propagandists or the killers or the dogmatists, but because they were times of transition like this, when too many good people, qualified people, chose personal security or existential non-engagement and left it to others to determine the course of history. And the world suffered as a result. When you go home tonight, you should feel a sense of relief and pride for the person you see in the mirror. You should experience the thrill of academic victory because you are a person of achievement. It's a thrill that most people your age will never experience. You've distinguished yourselves as learned in history, knowledgeable about the entire world at large, skilled in diplomacy, discipline, judgment, accomplished in conflict resolution, and thus desperately needed by the world around you. You've already met many of your parents' dreams for you, and if you have or will have children, you have the ability to give them the intellectual shoulders that they can climb up on, to set even higher goals of lifelong achievement for themselves and the world that they can make even better for their own children. For all the tragedies of our time and all the frustrations we may feel in our leaders and all the personal obstacles that have been set in the way of our pursuit of happiness, the fact still remains that you are graduating today in the freest society ever achieved by mankind, at a time of unprecedented knowledge and enlightenment and technological progress. But this didn't happen by accident, and it won't be sustained by apathy. Unless you do get out of your seats and contribute your talents and your energy and your intellect to making this government and this country's economy, and in fact the global environment, even better than they are today, then they will all get worse. Because societies, economies, and ecologies are organisms. Unless they are fed and nurtured and weeded and preserved, they will start to die. Nothing alive can stay static. You know that. The individual rights and freedoms we take for granted today were not predetermined, and they are not indestructible. They are the reflection of those fundamental convictions and the collective courage of America's founding fathers and the leaders of Europe's religious reformation and intellectual enlightenment. And they are the legacy of generations who cared enough about preserving the primacy of the individual in democratic governance for future generations that they were willing to respect such principles in practice, willing to speak up for them in public, uphold them in law, and even die for them in war. They chose not to yield ground to the political propagandists nor the religious extremists, and neither can we. The fact that the American economy offers more employment opportunity and profit incentive than anywhere else on the planet is not an accident of fate either. It is because we are a nation of immigrants, pioneers, if you will, who became Americans not because of our ethnicity or color or religion or language or politics, but we and they were willing to work hard, to share our values, and to leave a legacy of sacrifice and discipline to their children. But we now have a greater disparity than at any time since the Great Depression of the 1920s in terms of the distribution of our national wealth between the top 1% in this country who earn more and own more than the bottom 90%. Our public debt of $18 trillion much of which is now having to be financed by borrowing abroad. It's clearly unsustainable, and it's unjust to our children and grandchildren. Our system of entitlement does cry out for reform, as we're putting 7 times more into supporting retired people of the past than we're investing in preparing the leaders of the future. America can't continue to be the land of equal opportunity and shared sacrifice if we don't adjust our tax laws, if we don't better distribute our public revenue and invest more in the education of our young children. We can't afford to let 1/3 of our young people go through life without even a high school education. Nor can we afford the hundreds of thousands of eligible high school graduates who have to forego college because of its expense and their own economic circumstances. We have to find a way to productively employ the growing share of adults whose jobs have been outsourced and automated. But this is another reason why this is such a great time to be entering the field of public policy. It's not just our political and financial future that is at stake. Our very planet's survival is also at stake. If you don't step up and speak out for using our sun and our wind and our water and our waste to power our economy. When the English landed at Jamestown 400 years ago, they encountered a continent richer and more diverse than any other, and a population of Native Americans who would make their most important decisions based upon the effect that they would have on the 7th generation to come. Today, we're lucky if we can look ahead a week, let alone plan for the repercussions of our decisions even 7 years out. But again, that is why we need you to make us more mindful of the long-term consequences of our short-term decisions. You cannot, must not with the mind and the heart that you so obviously possess, simply sit on the sidelines and allow our human habitat to become victim to the catastrophic effects of global climate change, nor the poisonous toxicity of untested, unregulated chemicals in our food chain, nor the unforeseen ecological consequences of extinguished plant and animal species. The people that are the most vulnerable, if we don't address climate change, will in fact be the most powerless to protect themselves. That's why they need your leadership. Our military is starting a 3rd phase of national defense. We've gone from dominating the world in the Cold War in the area of manufacturing to technological prowess. Now we're ready to master artificial intelligence and precision drone warfare. We may, in fact, it's not classified, we're being transparent about it, it's entirely possible that one day we'll be fighting wars with centaurs and lethal drones that look like insects. NASA just found 1,284 new planets. What a tremendous opportunity to shape a new world. But again, I'm not telling any of you anything that you don't know. But you may not fully appreciate how much we all depend on you. To not let your dreams and your goals and your potential die inside you while you live. Letting your dreams die inside you while you're still alive is far more tragic than physical death itself. So today is in a very real sense, the end of the preface of your life and the beginning of its first chapter. It's your life. Make it a good read. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moran. I'm Jack Hutchison. I'm the director of the National Capital Region Alumni Programs, and it's my pleasure today to introduce our speaker. Today, you're not ending your relationship with Virginia Tech, but you're starting a new relationship with the Virginia Tech Alumni Association. You're in great company. There are over 56,000 Hokies that live within an hour and a half of where you're sitting right now, unless it's rush hour. But there are a dozen alumni chapters in the area. I now proudly introduce one of those alumni, Miss Lisa Carter Ellison. Lisa resides in Reston and works as a senior counsel for the Travelers Companies, one of the largest American insurance companies in the world. Lisa graduated from Virginia Tech with a Bachelor of Science in Business Finance. She received her JD from Loyola University Chicago School of Law and is a member of both the Illinois and California state bars. Prior to joining Travelers in July of 2015, Lisa held the positions of coverage counsel at Liberty Mutual Insurance and as a litigation associate at Troutman Sanders LLP. As a student, Lisa received recognition for her student leadership and community service. As an alumna, Lisa has served on several Virginia Tech alumni boards, including the Black Cultural Center Alumni Advisory Board, the Pamplin Advisory Council, and near and dear to my heart, the Alumni Association Board of Directors, and she's currently on our executive board. In addition to her work at Virginia Tech, Lisa has devoted time to coaching Loyola University's advocacy teams, junior achievement, and various legal aid organizations. Lisa is an avid football fan, enjoys cheering on the Hokies, the Carolina Panthers, and anybody that's playing UVA. Lisa?
Thank you, Jack. I'm honored to be standing before you representing the more than 250,000 Hokie Nation Strong Alumni Association, and I welcome you to what is now your Alumni Association. You're now a part of a group of alumni who faithfully serve and represent the university in their jobs, in their communities, in courtrooms and boardrooms, on the athletic arena and athletic fields, and serving this country. The Latin translation of the word alumni literally means nourished ones. During your years at Virginia Tech, you no doubt have been nourished by your professors, by your fellow students, by internships, and perhaps by mentorships with other alumni. Certainly all of these experiences will shape your experiences to come. But the good news is that your Virginia Tech experience does not end today. In fact, it is only just beginning. As a Virginia Tech alum, we not only want you to continue your relationship with the university, we need your exact talents, passions, skills, and drive to help your alumni association and to continue to do good work in the communities that you serve and live in. We need our relators to plan events, and we need our strategic thinkers and our analytical thinkers to work on alumni project teams. We need each of you to mentor students and to mentor each other. Each of you is now in a position to nourish others in the Virginia Tech community with your time, your talent, and treasure. I encourage you to seize that opportunity. My first interaction with the Alumni Association came when I was a student. I had a job search and an interview that was going to be held here in the Washington, D.C. area, but I was at the Blacksburg campus. I heard that the Alumni Association would loan money to students for job interviews. So I decided to stop by the office one day, not sure of the process, not sure if I would qualify. And I walked out of that office, to my surprise, with the money to buy a plane ticket here to Washington, D.C. The only qualification I needed was that I was a Virginia Tech student. That day, I realized the value of my Alumni Association. They had my back way back then, and I know it still has my back today. As a graduate, I've been involved in several alumni board positions, advisory boards, and I know firsthand that it takes each and every one of us to make an effective, inclusive, and successful alumni association. I invite and encourage each one of you to live out the Ut Prosim motto that you've learned as a student and continue to be involved with your alumni association, your communities, your chapters. The National Capital Region, as Jack mentioned, is one of the largest chapters in the nation, and they have several events for alumni participation and opportunities for you to serve. If you look at the opportunities and you don't see exactly what meets your passion or desire, create something. Create an event within your community. That's what Hokies do. Encourage high school students who want to become Hokies. Offer to mentor current students. Help future graduates find internships, and don't be afraid to ask your fellow Hokies to assist you if you are looking for a position. That's what Hokies do. Support your university with your treasures and gifts in order to make a meaningful difference in the lives of the Hokies to come. That is what Hokies do. And of course, we want to see you at the graduate school homecoming, and we want to see you in Lane Stadium in the fall. We want to see you jumping to Inner Sandman and welcoming the new coach, because that's what Hokies do. I could not be more proud to be a Hokie and to welcome you to the Alumni Association. As alums, we all bear an awesome responsibility to Ut Prosim, an expectation that we use our talents and our skills, the ones we honed at Virginia Tech, to serve not only the Hokie Nation, but to serve our communities and our nation. Just as Virginia Tech has been central to the Flint, Michigan water crisis and bringing that to everyone's awareness, just as Virginia Tech has been at the forefront of research for smart highways and self-driving cars and drones, you, as a representative of this university, will have opportunities to make a difference and to continue to invent the future. I know you will rise to the occasion because you are Virginia Tech. We are Virginia Tech, and each one of us has a voice and a role to play in our Alumni Association. Welcome, and go Hokies.
Thank you, Ms. Ellison, and I will see you at Graduate Alumni Homecoming, and we will be playing UVA. One of the great pleasures of being the Graduate School Dean is to introduce the candidates for degrees, and we're almost ready to do that. But first, I would like to take a moment and recognize a graduate student whose journey here has been very exceptional. Ms. Lawali Damali is the principal of Tanzania's Pansiana Wildlife Training Institute for the Ministry of Natural Resources and Tourism, and the first woman ever to hold this post. She was selected as a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Mentor Fellow focusing on illegal and unsustainable bushmeat trade in Eastern Africa. And she has been a leading advocate for African wildlife conservation for more than 25 years. Today, She will fulfill a long-held dream to earn a graduate degree. In this case, it is the Master of Natural Resources. Since this program is offered in an online format, she has traveled from Tanzania to receive her degree, and this is the first time to ever visit the United States. Ms. Damali, would you please stand so we can recognize you? Thank you for being here. It is a real pleasure to have you here. For the next few minutes, we are delighted to present a feature that is unique to our commencement ceremonies. In the spring of 2004, the graduate school began a tradition of presenting a musical gift of an original composition written solely to celebrate the graduate student's commencement. This music accompanies a visual journey of the graduate student life here in the National Capital Region so that we can provide you with a glimpse into the diversity and vitality experienced by graduate students. This composition is by Professor Charles Nichols and is entitled Commencement Address. He said he wanted the music to move the listener to experience the full range of emotion a graduate student would experience, from reminiscence to introspection to joy and triumph, as portrayed by the different brass instruments. Please take a few minutes to enjoy the music accompanying the images and reflections.
Wow. I am not Darth Vader, even this was Star Wars music. Just letting you know, but cool. Yeah. All right. Great PowerPoint, by the way. I'm going to give you a preview of the pictures we're going to have next year. We're going to have pictures of us beating UVA during graduate reunion. Congratulations, you have survived your last auditorium lecture at Virginia Tech. And our speakers were great, and all of them spoke about service. And they told you to do all kinds of amazing things, so we better get quick to giving you degrees so you can go out there and do them. We expect to have alumni chapters in all those 184 planets that Jim was talking about by the time you retire. This is my first year as provost at Virginia Tech and my first NCR commencement, and I'm very pleased to be here with you today. I survived my first graduate commencement in Blacksburg a few days ago, and that one did not have air conditioning, and this one does. So yes, I'm very happy to be here. And the lighting is better here, so I'm glad I shaved this morning. All right. We will now begin the conferral of degrees, beginning with the doctoral degrees. The doctoral degree represents the highest level of academic achievement and requires that students go far beyond the acquisition of knowledge. A successful doctoral student should transform into a producer of knowledge, someone who will contribute to leading-edge scholarship in their chosen field. Although some doctoral students will go on to become professors and pursue an academic career, others will apply their skills to public service and government, launch innovative products, or open new frontiers in K-12 education. The doctoral candidates today represent a broad range of disciplines, including architecture and disaster recovery, smart buildings, emotional intelligence and leadership, and military family housing, just to name a few. A very old and special tradition in academia accompanies the presentation of the doctoral degree. The doctoral candidate and the student's major advisor, the advisor who most mentor and supervise the student's research, join each other on the stage, where the advisor places the hood over the head of the graduate. For those of you who are tall, remember to kneel for that to happen. All right. By hooding the graduate, the faculty member symbolically welcomes the graduate as a professional colleague, and this professional relationship and friendship often continues throughout the graduate's and mentor's lives.
Will all the candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy and Doctor of Education degrees please rise? President Sands, I have the honor to present the candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy and the Doctor of Education degrees.
With the power vested in me by the Board of Visitors in the Commonwealth of Virginia and upon recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the Doctor of Philosophy and Doctor of Education degrees to which you are entitled with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Will the candidates for their doctoral degrees and their major professors now approach the stage for the hooding ceremony?
First, the candidates from the College of Architecture and Urban Studies will receive their Doctor of Philosophy degrees. Doctor of Philosophy in Architecture and Design Research, Karima Benby, hooded by Dr. Fred Krimgold and Dr. Paul Emmons. In Public Administration and Public Affairs, John Stephen Medeiros, hooded by Matthew Dull. Candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy from the College of Engineering will now receive their degrees. In Computer Engineering, Lisa J. Durbeck, hooded by Professor Peter Athanas. In Computer Science and Applications, Yating Wang, hooded by Professor Ingray Chen. In Electrical Engineering, Waradom Kampanchai, hooded by Professor Saifur Rahman. Awais Kawar, hooded by Professor Charles Clancy. Chaudhry M.R. Shahryar, hooded by Professor Charles Clancy. Haya Jamal Shahjaya, hooded by Professor Charles Clancy. Candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy from the College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences will now receive their degrees. In Education Counseling, Susan F. Branco, hooded by Professor Pamela Brott. In Human Development, Arthur Thomas Conroy III, hooded by Marcy Bukuvalas and Claire Klunk. Welisa Farrington Lynch, hooded by Marcy Bukuvalas and Claire Klunk. In Science and Technology Studies, Philip Raleigh Eggert, honored by Professor Barbara Allen. In Educational Leadership and Policy Studies, Amy Joy Halub, honored by Professor William Glenn. And Nardos Eleanor King, honored by Professor William Glenn.
One more time? Yes. Now the mic is live. Would all the doctoral candidates please rise so we can congratulate you and your families can see you. Okay, please be seated. I would now like to take a moment to recognize the academic achievements of one in our graduate community who is no longer with us. Rageh Abdel Fattah was a dedicated student in Planning, Governance, and Globalization PhD program in the School of Public Health and Public and International Affairs until his untimely death in 2012. Upon the recommendation of the faculty, Virginia Tech will today confer a posthumous doctoral degree to Rageh. Rageh's family is here with us today to receive this honor. Rageh's advisor and mentor, Dr. Ted Coble, will offer us a brief reflection on Rageh's life and work.
Thank you. Thank you, Dean Paul, Dr. Sands, guests, and students. When I first met Rageh, he called me from Minnesota to talk about our doctoral program in environmental design and planning, and more specifically about working with me on affordable housing research. I asked him why he wanted to leave a good job as an architect with the Minneapolis school system, and he said, I should be doing more. I came to learn that doing more told a lot about Rageh. Rageh was a big and very humble guy. He had an almost cherubic round face, graced with an ever-present smile, when even fasting during Ramadan. We worked together on several research projects, particularly focusing on housing in Virginia and West Virginia. We worked on strategies to address housing problems in communities as diverse as Virginia Beach and Augusta County. We traveled throughout Southwest Virginia, learning about homelessness and distressed rural communities. Hard problems to solve, and he wanted to do more. A native of Egypt, he had a promising career as a consulting architect. He wanted to do more and went to study urban development in London. He eventually decided that to do more, he had to come to the United States and then come to Virginia Tech at Prosim. He wanted to do more. He left Blacksburg to work on regional planning for the capital region. He became a U.S. citizen and joined the State Department to work on community development. He was sent to Afghanistan to help develop schools and hospitals and other critical infrastructure. He was killed in an attack by a suicide bomber. Today is a day of celebration and pride. I'm proud of Virginia Tech for honoring Dr. Regé Abdefata, and I ask all of you to celebrate his life of doing more. Ad prosim.
I want to thank the family and Dr. Ted Coble for being here as we confer this degree. Thank you very much. Will all the candidates for master's degrees please rise? President Sands, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for the master's degrees.
With the power vested in me by the Board of Visitors and the Commonwealth of Virginia, and upon recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the master's degrees to which you are entitled with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Will the marshals please escort the candidates to the stage?
We welcome the candidates from the College of Architecture and Urban Studies. Kritika Balasubramanian. Kelly Adair Davies. Nan and Din. Matthew Alexander Duncan. Gerardo Martin Hernandez Trias. Yamina Nzinga Lashanta Mujahid Lambert. Arnold Ilu Lee. Wan Q Lee. Wei Hao Liang. Zachary Stephen Mojur. Taryn Nicole Murray. Xiaowei Hu. Janet Arachia. Kulsum Bano Basharat. Matthew Atkins Kunkel. Daniel McKeebib. Gina Alves Silva. Timothy John Weplow. Alex Stewart Williams. Avi Arditi. Sharon Erica Gray. Keely Gabriel McCoy. Michael Joseph Young. Jacqueline Lisette Canales. Kyle Lucas. Carrie Megan Odenino. Joseph Onyebuchi. Donald Edward Parker II. Maria Himanun Pinson. Adam James Watson. Lauren Nicole White. Afshan Abdul. Thomas Wesley Baranowski. This is business. We welcome the candidates from the Pamplin College of Business. The last one was won. Eric Christopher Bengard. Noel Nadia Brahimi. Richard MacArthur Bryan. Sachin Chibber. Prashant Devraj. Sean Thomas Duffin. Rachel Louise Foster. Yulia A. Harden. Timothy Richard Hemick. Jennifer Lee Hogan. Melissa Caitlin Trotman Hollinshead. Ashley Ann Kays. Song Hyun Lee. Lawrence Joseph Marino. Tan Trong Nguyen. Ashley Pierno. Stuart Alexander Rucker. Laura Morgan Scott. Prapti Shakya. Elizabeth Ann Striffler. Vivek Vijay Kumar. Scott David Wenzel. Jordan Taylor White. Jason Douglas Williams. Michael Anthony Adams. Andrew Christopher Bemis. Christopher Douglas Biggs. Tiffany Marie Blomster. Elizabeth Claire Bergler. Alfie Cintron. James Matthew Kobe. Billy Joe Lacrosse. Bill Singh Brar. Josue Salmeron. Som Yolo Spina. Guillermo Jose Thorne, Jr. Shante Yvonne Washington. We now welcome the candidates from the College of Engineering. Ruth Stair Philippak. John Anthony Patton. Matthew David South. Amal Pazanilam Chaco. Shalini Shankaranarayanan. Harshala Valmik Sardar. Kritika Rathinaval. Ethan Daniel Gable. Kritika Mathur. Yanyan Ni. Sergio Rodrigo Quiroga. Guillermo Andres Hernandez. We welcome the candidates from the College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences next. Mary Joan Armstrong. Samantha Bissell. Patrick Ryan Casey. Addie Cunningham. Emily C. Evans. Maria Ariel Sidman. Catherine Patrice Heasley. Christine Virginia Powell. Joseph Paul Sebastian III. Emily Margaret Brown. Jennifer Margaret Budris. Krista Nicole Clark. Jayla Eileen Fincher. Dina Ann Hilaris. Barbara Phyllis Hirsch. Lindsay Louise McCarthy. Stephen Palmer Robeson. Christina Brianne Robinson. Stephanie Teresa Shaheen. Shirley Jackson Hopkins. Timothy Mark Miller. Glenn Michael Walden. We welcome the candidates from the College of Natural Resources and Environment. Chase Berry Allred. Michael Joseph Barancevic. Courtney Ashlyn Trout Brown. Jameson Lewis Bronco. Luweli Simon Damalu. Blake Ellett. Mita Liliana Escobar. Janina Di Maio France. Carter Fitzgerald Griggs. Carrie Rose Hatcher. Russell Brandon Hill. Brian Brian Angelo Indre. Morlai Kagbo. Sonia Marie Lamkin. Christopher Thomas Mankey. Leah Elizabeth Marshall. Kimberly Rose Morrow. Patrick Nayland. Anne Elaine Pancor. Jennifer Lee Bristol Reeds. Shauna R. Russell. Miriam Shakirova. Joseph Siegel. Carly Ann Sapirski. Carl Watson Smith. Elizabeth Gabriel Smith. Aaron Michael Stern. John Stephen Turner. Kara Elizabeth Westerfield. Ning Xu. Finally, we welcome the candidates for the Masters of Information Technology degree in Interdisciplinary Studies. Ajay Allen. Anthony Carl Banks. Jule Bostic. Timothy Cupp. James Edward Daniel Jr. Leonard Dark. Daniel Thomas De Freitas. Anna Christina Elston. Timothy Gable. Gregory Franz Henriquez. Jeremy R. Hettenhauser. Darren Ivan Hodson. Manishankar Srinivasan Iyer. Syed Alireza Jazairi. Danielle P. Benda. Richard Sabayon. Michael Ming Sang. William Anthony Weaver, Jr. Leon Lee Wilkerson, Sr. And last but not least, Christopher Devontae Wood.
There's one other group that I want to make sure that I acknowledge before we close this part of it. Those of you who have earned a graduate certificate, would you please stand? Oh, yes. Okay, I know we have some out there. So congratulations on earning a degree and a certificate. And now, this is such a special day. Let's congratulate our master's and doctoral students one more time.
And many thanks to our family and friends who kept it very live. Those of you sitting way at the back are usually us in academia. You are the most raucous ones. Good for you. As a final note, I would like to call upon Professor Kathleen Hancock of the National Capital Region Faculty Association to bring a brief message of congratulations on behalf of the university faculty.
Virginia Tech graduates. That has a nice sound, doesn't it? After the many sacrifices that you and your families have shared over the past several semesters, you have achieved this important milestone. Commitment, hard work, compromise, not to mention sleepless nights, missed activities, and often precariously balanced demands from a multitude of directions have finally paid off. You now hold the culmination of your efforts in your hands. Today, you have joined the ranks of a far-reaching and influential group of alums. As you move forward with your careers, remember, you are now one of the stones in the foundation of the Hokie Nation. I offer you one additional thought as you leave today. Martin Luther King told us that if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forwards. You have already shown, as represented by your presence here today, that you understand this. I encourage you not to rest on your laurels, but to continue to learn and grow throughout your lives. And specifically, I challenge you to fight complacency, to push against the status quo, to make a difference every day, and to live the Virginia Tech motto, ut prosum, that I may serve. On behalf of the faculty and staff at Virginia Tech, congratulations to each and every one of you. A special thanks go to Dr. Adil Godridge as the reader of the names, to the soloist, Jerome Williams, and to the members of the quintessential brass, and also to the marshals and the people behind the scenes who made this afternoon possible. Now, please stand for the retirement of the colors. I would ask that the audience remain at their seats while the stage party exits first. And then students, please exit following the party by rows to your right, beginning with the first row. Our commencement ceremony for Virginia Tech's National Capital Region is concluded. Joining us, and have a safe trip home.